The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on November 7th, 2023.
It's time now for Business Matters, brought to you by Mokulele Airlines. Now here's your host, Pam Tumpop.
Good morning, everyone. This is going to be a fun show. We are going to talk story with Sheryl Matsuoka of Hawaii Restaurant Association, who's working so hard to help our restaurants and helping the people of Maui, too, who've been impacted by the wildfires. We're going to talk to Anne Kahalekulu of Kulua, Maui, and talk about her amazing products and the show. And we're going to speak to Namaka Pau'ole, a young up-and-coming musician who made her mark in the music industry here on Maui and performed at the 10th annual Made in Maui County Festival this weekend. What a joy that was. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, I'm so thrilled to have on Sheryl Matsuoka, Executive Director of the Hawaii Restaurant Association. For over 4 decades, she has had invaluable business and leadership experience. She is dedicated force in the food service industry in Hawaii, and her unwavering commitment to the restaurant community is truly exceptional. And you see her on TV all the time as she steers a dynamic network of influential leaders who are collectively shaping Hawaii's culinary landscape. But beyond her professional endeavors, Sheryl and her husband have deep-rooted ties to the restaurant world. Her husband is a third-generation restaurateur, and Sheryl herself is invested in 4 remarkable restaurants located on the vibrant island of Oahu, to include Geaukaku and Rainbow Drive-In. Sheryl's passion for the culinary arts and her extensive experience make her an indispensable figure in Hawaii's food service industry, and her commitment to its growth and success are truly unmatched, given her breadth of knowledge and as well as influence within the industry. So good morning, Sheryl. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for having me on and allowing me to share with the community what's going on in Hawaii's food service industry.
Oh, it's our great pleasure. Tell us a little bit first about the Hawaii Restaurant Association and some of the primary benefits that being a member of HRA provide.
Sure. Hawaii Restaurant Association is the organization that supports and represents Hawaii's food service industry. You know, we were established 76 years ago, and we represent, because the food service industry and the hospitality industry is so such a large contributing factor in Hawaii's economy, that we represent over 4,800 food service locations and employ over 90,000 individuals. So we're always, working on our benefits. Our benefits include our HMA medical insurance plan, Hawaii Dental. A lot of these programs helps our members' bottom line, right? It's all about profit. And through the Hawaii Restaurant Association, we have lots of networking opportunities. Pam, you've been to a lot of our events.
I have. Always spectacular.
Yes. yes, and it's always around food, right? Because we have a lot of good food. We are the food service industry, so we need to have that level of culinary being presented at all of our events.
Well, and food is such a great uniter. Food just always is something that brings people together. We were talking about that at our Made in Maui County Festival recently, and just it's such a great way to connect. And tell us a little bit. I know that you and I just briefly had a chance to talk before the radio show started, and you were saying that, of course, you have many impacted members who have been impacted by the Maui wildfires, but also you're hearing from people from Maui as well. Tell us a little bit about HRA's efforts in supporting those impacted by the wildfires.
Yes, right now over 70 restaurants were affected because of the Maui wildfire. So if you can imagine, right, the amount of employees that are impacted because now in Lahaina, 70 restaurants, I mean, 70 eateries, restaurants and eateries are gone. We've been in contact every day, and I get feedback, via email, via text, via voicemails on what's going on daily and what is needed over there. And we have been working on what they're asking for. Number one is funds, because
Yes.
as you know, while they're all waiting, for what's going to happen next, they're trying to, live, right, survive.
That's
And
right.
so we put their crowdfunding links all on our website. We also have today, it's amazing the timing, how all the stars align, Pam. Today is Restaurant Day, and it's
Oh,
always the first Tuesday of each month, and we have participating restaurants on our website. Many of our community members asked, how can they help Maui? In the beginning, everybody was sending over clothes and blankets and towels. And at this point, what's really needed is funds.
yes, right.
And so, yes, and so Restaurant Day is a way where restaurants dedicate one day, which is today, the first Tuesday of each month, to having maybe a special dish, or just encouraging people to order in or take out, and a portion of that sales will go back to Maui, and sometimes the restaurants are giving back to different organizations who are helping those impacted. A lot of them are foundations and charities.
Well, yes, and I really, for those restaurants that have been impacted, one of the biggest challenges is we're just kind of waiting. The governor announced on September 5th this fund's coming down. I know the funds are starting to flow in. Governor mentioned the other day at the Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii annual luncheon that funds are getting distributed to MEO, and then I guess the program will launch from there. But each day, these businesses, restaurants, and the other businesses that are impacted, they've been really clear. We've been really clear with the SBA. They're already over leveraged on idle loans. They barely survived the Great Recession. They took idle loans during COVID to survive. The restaurant revitalization funds that were available during COVID, that was a national crisis. So those kinds of funds and assistance is not available now, and they need grants. So Maui Chamber is also trying to raise funds through our foundation just to help businesses impacted by the fires. There's so much money coming in for social services, which is great to help the workers that have been impacted and the business owners who have been impacted on a personal level. But so many of these businesses are really trying to pivot now to, especially because we're months in now, to say, look, we've got to get businesses back up and running. We've got to get our employees back employed. So we're really looking for those grants and programs that can contribute to getting money directly to the businesses to help them reestablish. And in some cases, some of it's just getting some water in the region. So I know there's a lot of work going on with the county to talk about getting water to some of those who could be open with water. But it's tough. It's an ongoing process, and we appreciate that your members are raising funds each Tuesday to try and do something special to help. That's phenomenal.
Yes, and it came as an idea from Don Murphy, who has Murphy's Downtown, who said, what can we do, as a community? And at that point, that's when restaurants all said, hey, yeah, one day a month, we can do it. Let's really promote it. Let's ask the community to come out and, take out or order in, and we will give a portion of that day sales back to Maui somehow. I mean, and, we all see, we all hear and we all know the pain that they're going through. So if there's anybody out there who can support today, please go out and support a restaurant that's supporting Restaurant Day.
That's awesome. Do you have can you share some of the restaurants on Maui that are doing that?
Yes, actually, I do. Give me 1 minute to log into the website. And meanwhile, I just want to also mention that there's a Guy Fieri. They also did a fundraiser in California. Did you hear about that one?
I heard about that. Tamara Garrick went from Maui, also from the Lahaina Town Action Committee, and she said it was phenomenal. Tell us, I know the amount, but you tell us how much they raised.
Yes, over $1 million, and from that $1 million, what's going to happen is he is going to give a portion of that to the Salvation Army Maui, because as you know, Guy did I want to say it was 16 episodes, where 16 different Hawaii restaurants were featured, and many of them were on Maui. And I have the list of the restaurants that he did feature on Maui. And he just, when he jumped on the phone with me, it's just, this man is just one big heart. He just knows how painful it is for a restaurateur, to see their business, their life go out the flames. And so he wanted to know, and he said, Sheryl, I can raise funds. I just need help, helping me on the other side of distribution. And Hawaii Restaurant Association was involved with the Hawaii Restaurant Card. So if anything about distribution, we can support that.
Yes.
So that's what we're working with him on right now. And you asked me the question of which Maui restaurants on Maui. I will let you know which restaurants on Maui today. A portion of their sales is going back to, a charity or a nonprofit or a foundation. Gather Maui, Isa on. It's called Isa Isana and Pizza Paradise.
Yes.
Are you familiar?
I am. Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. And those are just a few of the restaurants that are giving back over there on Maui, back to, to support those who have been impacted.
That's awesome. And Sheryl, if you can link in, I don't know if it changes from week to week, it might, I'm sure. If you can link in Amber and email her at office MGR for manager abbreviation at MauiChamber.com.
Yes.
We'll try and keep up with some of those specials and put them on our website.
Okay, perfect. And then the other one is Noodle Bar in Lahaina Luna.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, I will do that.
And then also, we'll have you at the end. We'll have you tell everybody about your website as well. So we're so thrilled. I mean, Guy Fieri has a special connection and a love from people here in Maui. So that's so awesome that he is doing that. And I know Tamara just was blown away, and we really appreciate it. They really need all the help they can get, and so many workers every day. I just can't even say, just again, because we're so connected to the visitor industry, and there have been efforts to, work on regenerative tourism prior to COVID and economic development prior to COVID. And we know we need to continue to diversify our economy, and we will. And of course, now we really know that we will, because we really have to, as we found, not just from COVID, but now these wildfires. But folks, I just really want to say we're really at a point, and Sheryl mentioned it earlier, on two things. We're really at a point where cash donations to nonprofits, where they can make donations to get just-in-time supplies and really be responsive to the supplies that are needed now, is really important, because so many things got shipped in, and some of it was stuff we couldn't really use, or it was stuff that we're now storing because we got so much of it that it's going to take a while to use, and we're in a small island, and so space and storage space is a challenge, and also some of the retail space that now some of these companies from Lahaina would like to pivot in is being used for storage. So as we can start working on more cash donations, and people are understanding that, they're getting that message and being responsive to that. And the other thing is, these companies, these businesses, and when we say businesses, people think, oh, corporations, they have a lot of money. These are small businesses, and what a business is some creative people who created a business that support their family and their family's living by hiring other people and helping to support their families to run an operation. And so right now, we really need to try and get cash in the hands of restaurateurs and the businesses impacted so that they can make strides to pivot and bring their employees back to work. And every night, they're having to make very tough decisions um, and are waiting for funding to come down, trying to decide if they stay and continue or not. And so that's going to have a landslide on those who are hoping to get back to work in their industry. And I've surveyed a lot of people, and they want to stay in the industry that they were working in. Many are saying, no, we just want to get back to what we were doing. So we really want to applaud all who are raising funds and help in any way we can with shopping at those restaurants who are also giving back. So we'll do what we can, Sheryl, on that. You know, a big thing this year is going to be, and speaking of money, because everybody knows that we're going to come in and ask for money to help businesses get back on their feet. But you're very active in the legislative arena. Are there any current issues for you that you expect to bring up this coming legislative session in January?
Well, right now, the business community is definitely aware. As of January 1st, as you know, minimum wage is going to be $14 an hour. With all the
Yes.
raising costs, as you can see, everything is rising, whether it's utility, supply costs are going up. So it's just asking the government officials and our government decision makers to please understand that it's been very, very challenging. And as we prepare for all these increases, it's going to be even tougher, Pam. It's even
Right.
tougher to keep our doors open and our heads and our noses just right above water.
Yeah. And the other thing we're worried about is the UI rates
Yes.
on the unemployment
And
insurance rates.
we talk about that every day, and they're like, you know, yeah, we don't know. Just informing and educating, our lawmakers that it's been the challenges of having a business, and now the impact of, what is going on is everything is increasing. Everything
Yes.
is increasing, and I know that what happened in Maui will cause more increases. So, just being aware that sometimes, especially in the food service industry, we don't want to raise the prices of the meals and the food, but we have to because it's, we work in very, very small margins as restaurants. And so if we need to just keep that tiny rise of a plate lunch, a little bit of increase on a plate lunch. But as you know, right now in Maui, the governor's proclamation, we're not able to increase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to understand that costs are coming up, but if we can increase prices, it creates a hardship on the businesses. It absolutely does.
Exactly. So right now, they're against price increases at Maui. They're for certain things like dairy and ice. But yes, it's just explaining to the community and our government officials that restaurants and the food service industry, we work in really small margins. And so, please be understanding and supportive. And that's all we really can ask. Everybody knows somebody who works in a restaurant, and they know how difficult it is to own a restaurant and work in a restaurant, right? And yet there's so much joy because, as you said, everybody comes around food. Everything's centered around food. Food is our culture, Pam, and that's why we get together and enjoy our family because of food is our culture.
That's right. It really is. Well, Sheryl, thank you so much for joining us today. We're thrilled to have you on the show. We just want to really thank you and the Hawaii Restaurant Association and your board and all involved, all of the members from across the state who, it's a united community and united association helping us out on Maui. Thank you so much for all you do, and please thank all of them for us. I want them to know we truly appreciate them.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much for all that you do and giving us an opportunity to share with the community what's going on in the Hawaii food service industry.
It's our great pleasure, and we'll have you on again soon.
Okay, Pam. You got
Thank
it.
you. Take good
Have a
care, and we'll
wonderful
talk to
day.
you soon.
Okay,
Thank
dear.
you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Aloha. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Mokulele Airlines, and then we'll be right back.
Mokulele Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lanai, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal.
All right. Well, I wanted to share with everybody a little bit about this past weekend's 10th annual Hawaiian Airlines Made in Maui County Festival. Boy, I'll tell you, the first day, our exclusive shopping day, our vendors, we had over 142 vendors. They were reporting that sales were up. They were making great buyer connections. That's the day on Friday where we have the wholesale buyers and distributors. And there was an excitement and a high for this year's festival. So many people just thrilled. And it really was a moment of just resiliency. Like, we've done it. We're here. We're excited. They wanted to connect with people. They wanted to share their products with people. And we were just really excited about this. And on Saturday, again, the reports were just, people were amazed. And one of the things that was amazing is that, our visitor numbers right now are down. So we don't have the same visitor crowds, but it looks like our early counts looks like 8,400 people came out this year, and they were ready to shop. We had 4 vendors sell out of products. Many more came very close to selling out of products. We were hearing of some large purchases that were pretty extraordinary, and it was a time where everybody was united and just grateful to get to celebrate with the community and to see the community come out in droves. Again, with the visitor numbers down, that means we had a lot more community members coming out, and they really shopped. We do want to let you know, again, and we will be doing this through the holiday season, you can continue to shop through the Made in Maui County Festival vendors. We have links up at madeinmauicountyfestival.com. There are links on the website. You can shop all of our vendors in this year's festival. Please continue to remember to shop with them this holiday season. We're encouraging wholesale buyers and distributors to do the same as well, and have our program booklet up so that they can make connections there. But we want to continue to get buyers and distributors also, bringing in these products for their holiday season as well, and into next year, because this is going to be something where we can support them on Shop Small Saturday. We can, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. There's so many different ways, and of course during the Christmas season. So we want to encourage you. MadeInMauiCountyFestival.com. Let the shopping fest continue. In some cases, some of the vendors might have run out of the color or the design you wanted. So keep looking, because they were thrilled, and we can't wait. We do survey them every year and ask them for their results, because it's critical to the funding to help us put on the festival, to show that return on investment. This economic development investment is one of the best rates of return in terms of economic development programs that people have seen. And so we look forward to hearing more about their success stories and their sales. But by all accounts, we heard just wonderful remarks. And so I'm excited now to hear from one of our festival vendors who makes beautiful, beautiful clothing. Kulua was founded by Anna Kahalekulu, and she creates sustainable, modern aloha wear that is grounded in Aina and Hawaiian culture. She is a native Hawaiian fashion designer, hula practitioner, and mother from Wai'ehu, Maui. She is a graduate and former lecturer of the UH Maui College Fashion Technology Program. And most days you'll find her at Kalua's studio shop in Makawao Town, where Kalua's team of makers design, cut, and sew in-house. Good morning, Anna. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
Oh my gosh, it's another beautiful day in Maui. We were so thrilled to have you at our show. Can you give everybody a brief overview of how it went for you this year?
We had a great year this year. I think we have been participating in the Made in Maui County Festival now since 2016. This year we did the most sales we have done out ever. So
Wow.
which is a really great thing. I thought last year we had kind of hit like, oh, that's pretty much what we can do. And this year we did better than last year. So we had a really great weekend. For us, we love coming out to Made in Maui, even though we do have our own brick and mortar, because it's a chance for our community to all come together, for us to see our other small business friends, for us to see our locals who may not make it up to Makawao and see us all the time as well. So it's great to see all the faces year after year.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and it was. Uh, some people, said, knowing some of our vendors, how hard it was for them to get there this year, especially with all that's been going on. But it was nice to see them be able to connect with each other, and that bond, I think, is so strong. So I love to hear you describe that. You have such a beautiful inspiration behind your products. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to get into designing the beautiful wear of Kulua, Maui?
Let's see. It all started. Well, I've always been drawn to fashion and design. I My cultural background is through hula. So when I became a mom and I took a break from hula, I found myself filling my time during naps with creating and sewing or just doing small projects just to keep myself busy. And from there, I kind of thought, like, I wonder if this is what I'll do next, because I wasn't really sure when I went back to work what I wanted to do. I had done business for my undergrad and I had worked in Honolulu in tourism before we started our family here on Maui. So I wasn't really sure what the next step for me was going to be, but I thought I love creating and sewing, so I did the fashion tech program at UH Maui College, and I was hooked. I originally thought we were going to go into like home furnishings, but fashion was just so much fun for me that that's just where I ended up putting all my energy. I forget what year I finished the program, but I started it when my son was like 18 months old, and now my son is 12 and in middle school. So a lot of the business has really been like my third baby. And
Yeah.
I built it really slowly and did more and more kind of as they started going to school full time and that whole thing. And so they really are blessed because they get to be a part of it, whether or not they like it, but they also learn a lot from the business as well. So for me, really the inspiration behind creating comes from my hula background and thinking about other things that we're taught in halal and how to adorn ourselves and
Mm.
like what kinds of things you want to adorn yourself with. And so I think a lot about what we wear day to day and when we get up and how you can put on your favorite color and feel more ready to take on your day, or how you can do things like wear something that makes you just stand a little bit taller and makes you feel more confident. So those are a lot of things I think about when you design and create for the women that wear our brand.
I just love each of your designs. I'm just fascinated by the different designs and the shapes and um, and the way they also lay on the body and the short move. I just think that's so cool and cute. Um, so tell us a little bit about this designing process, going from, okay, you've designed now, you come up with a new design, and then how do you decide how to apply that design and create the physical product?
We do some sampling. So the design process usually starts with an idea. So I usually keep a journal with me so I can jot down ideas throughout the day since I'm usually on the go. And I'll do quick sketches of different styles that I'm thinking about that will work with this design. Um, and then from there, we'll sometimes it'll be a print that's driving it. So it'll be working on the print and that whole process. We do sometimes work with other artists for original artwork for our prints, or sometimes I'll do the print myself. It just kind of depends on um, what we're going after. And eventually we'll have fabric. The style will need to be patterned and then cut and sewn into a sample so we can kind of check fit and make sure that was what I was imagining when the idea first came to mind. Um, and then from there, there's a process where we grade or size out all the pattern piece, like all the sizes for the pattern.
Yeah.
And after that, we cut. So we do have a cutter in-house. So a lot of the design process I usually take care of with feedback from our team. And then we have an in-house cutter, Rosa. So she will lay all the fabric, do all the cutting, bundle it up, and then we have sewers in-house as well as a couple of sewers on island that will send work to regularly. So it's one of those things where the process could take a really long time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes really, really quick. It really just depends on our flow and how quickly I go from like idea to samples to fabric to production. Sometimes it can happen within 2 weeks, and sometimes it takes more like a year. So.
Well, I get that. I actually, the first year we were doing the Made in Maui County Festival, there was a designer and gentleman who was trying to create a sewing school. And he came out of LA and had moved here from LA and had a big pattern machine that was very expensive and could take some of the patterns and help size them up automatically and do some of this. And we were really excited to try and get that off the ground. And unfortunately, it just never got there. So but I think people don't realize, like you said, there's a lot of steps in this. The design is a critical step, but also getting this how that works on the style, and then creating the pattern, and then sizing it for all the different sizes, and making sure that it's going to lay right every time. People don't realize there's so much depth in clothing manufacturing.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, it is. There's quite a process to it. In some ways, it feels like a really big undertaking as a small business because we're a small team. But in other ways, it's work that I really love to do in the whole process. And the truth of the matter is, I actually spend more of my time sewing and doing business things when I actually do designing. Designing kind of happens in small spurts of creativity.
I love that. And I love that you're saying, and I keep my journal with me so that you're ready to capture it when that happens.
Uh-huh.
I have a friend who's she's just an amazing poet, but she keeps a journal with her every day, and just in case when the inspiration comes, she's ready. So that's awesome. I love the cultural aspect about your work, and tell us about how people react to that in all the things. So, as you're selling the products, how do you communicate that message, and how do people react to that message?
Well, I actually think that that's something that we could communicate a little bit better. I think for me, part of the design process is our art form of fashion really only exists when it's appreciated and worn by our wahine that wear our brands. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a disconnect that happens in the design process where it's not necessarily about us anymore and it becomes about the woman who ultimately will wear the garment. And so I like to leave a little bit of room for her to be able to decide on her own what it means to her. So, that being said, we do our best to tell our story through social media and through our marketing efforts, and we have a new print come out so that we can share the inspiration behind it. And then, of course, when we have people in shop with us, we can go through and tell them all the different prints and all the stories behind them, too. The cool thing is that we've been able to develop prints that really speak to our shop in Makawao, and we have our Ukiu rain print, which is one of the rains in Makawao that falls. And so it's a really cool moment when we look outside and see the Ukiu rain coming in sideways, and then we look at the print and we're like, there it is. That was inspiration. And here's the print, and now you can see why it is the way it is because the rain comes in this way. So yeah.
I love that. And I think that that's so true. At least it is for me. Is to find things that I connect with in some way for some reason. And I think when you do connect with the clothing that you're wearing, it does make you feel, as you said earlier, makes you stand a little taller, feel more comfortable, and just it lifts your spirits.
Absolutely.
That's phenomenal. And your products definitely do that. So tell everybody a little bit more about your store and how they can find you there and online.
Okay, so our shop is in Makawao. We're right across from the library on Makawao Ave, and we do have a small parking lot. So that's kind of gold. The shop is open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5. So we do our best to keep our hours regular. Um, and then we also have a website, kuluamaui.com, spelled KULUAMAUI.com. So you can order online. We do free shipping on orders over $150, and then we can also do local pickup as well. So you can place your order online and swing by and grab it in Makawao.
Oh, Anna, thank you so much. We appreciate having you on the show today. I'm glad that it was a great event for you, and we hope you'll do it again next year.
Absolutely. We love coming out for Native Maui, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Also, thank you to you and your team for putting on the event year after year. I'm sure it's a massive undertaking, but we really appreciate having that space to come together.
Oh, thank you. It's our great pleasure. Well, I hope you have a beautiful Maui day.
Thank you. You too. Aloha.
Aloha. Okay, well, I want to tell you a little bit about our next guest as Gary brings her on, and that is Namaka Pau'ole, and she is really a singer and an aspiring musician. We just met her this year, and I will tell you that those of us who were watching her perform, her voice is just amazing. Apparently, she started performing at the Maui Coffee Attic. She is continuing to pursue her passion as a musician of Tihati. She performs both Hawaiian and contemporary music and is primarily focused on falsetto types of singing and styles. And I just, listening to her, she reminded me of a younger Raiatea Helm. So I was just blown away, as were many people, and she came together with other musicians, and her voice is angelic. So, Aloha, how are you?
Aloha, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I was so glad to have you performing this year at the Maine and Maui County Festival. Thank you so much for, just your beautiful music. Tell us a little bit about your musical journey from your younger years to where you are today.
Well, I really loved singing when I was little, and then growing up I joined like choirs a lot, like in elementary and then also in middle school. And high school was the biggest one for me because I joined a Polynesian singing and dancing group called Hawaiian Ensemble at
Wow.
Maui, and that really helped me to get in touch with like my Hawaiian music. And I realized more and more that I really love music. I grew to love it even more, and every time like we would go to practice or go to a performance, I remember even if I was feeling kind of junk beforehand, I would always just feel so relieved and so at peace whenever the music would start and we would start singing. And now I'm here. So yeah.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
Well, I was just blown away because it was my first time getting to hear you, and many of the people that I was talking to hadn't heard you before. So tell us a little bit about. I know you don't have a CD yet, but you know as you're creating music, what are some of your favorite types of music to sing?
I love singing like contemporary R&B. That's actually like the first type of music that like I would sing a lot. And then in high school is when I grew to love like Hawaiian music, appreciate Hawaiian music more, and Hawaiian falsetto, but
Yeah.
and like the Ha'i styles of singing. But that I know I need to work a lot more on because I like discovered my love for it like later on. But yeah, I'm finding that I really love those styles of singing a lot, even though like it's hard. I really love
Yes.
working on them and how beautiful like they sound when you kind of master it. I mean, I haven't mastered it, but yeah, when you work on it a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, as you point out, it is a very difficult style. Can you tell people a little bit, if they haven't heard Hawaiian falsetto, can you tell them a little bit about it and why it's so difficult to master?
Um, hmm. Well, just from my experiences and what I know, I'm not like an expert when it comes to Hawaiian falsetto, but for me, it uses a lot of air, and I personally like diaphragm breathing. That's where you like singers get their power from. And so
Uh-huh.
Hawaiian falsetto is using a lot of your head voice and a lot of that air for control. And so you really have to like master your diaphragm breathing.
Yeah. I think you
Yeah.
described that perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
I think you did a
Yeah.
great
So
job
like in
describing.
school, yeah, thank you. That's just I've experienced it like in school, like I was a soprano one, so I remember I did not have good like breath control, so I'd feel so like dizzy after I actually work on that. But yeah, that's kind of how I've experienced it.
Well, we happened to be watching The Voice last night at our house, and that's one of the things that they were getting coached on was how to, really work on their breathing. So that's
Yeah.
uh, yeah, something that was really important, and they were getting coached on that, which is amazing. And you're already working on that. Tell us a little bit about where you play live and how people can find you and hear you singing.
Um, well, right now I'm playing at Coffee Addict, usually with Uncle Chris and Tristan Kyle at 8:30 and to 10:30.
What days?
Oh, on Friday.
Oh, on Fridays, perfect. So 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. or a.m.
AM.
Okay, awesome. So on Fridays, 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. I have to start getting back to. Oh no, excuse me, a.m. 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. Um, tell people a little bit about the Coffee Addict because I also learned I heard that you were there at the Coffee Addict and you just kind of connected with other local musicians and
Mhm.
just started playing with
Oh,
different people.
oh yeah. So that's where I went. My dad was trying to promote me, so he told me to like wear my ukulele on my back, and like I was so ashamed. I didn't want to do it. Um, but I did. Like we walked in there, I was like, oh no, no. But they already had instruments in there anyway, so I guess it didn't look too out of the ordinary. But John Henry, the owner of Coffee Addict, he asked me to like sing for them, and then I did, and then he said he was gonna pair me up with Tristan Kyle. He's a Lahaina fireman, and
Yeah.
so like on the next Friday, I came to Coffee Addict, and and that's where I met Chase, and then we started playing music, but he wasn't expecting me. So, so like when I was there, he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, come up. I see you after ukulele." And then like I actually did come up, and I think he thought I was, or I think he was like joking, but I thought he was being serious. So I went up and then I started singing, and then we kind of just went from there. He was like, "Oh yeah," because my mom was there. He was like, "Oh, have your daughter call me so we can work on this, like work on music stuff." And then and I was scared, and I think he knew I was gonna be scared to like to contact him because at the time I was like even more shy than I am now. So I was like, so he told my mom like make sure she calls me,
Oh,
and
good.
then I did. It took like a couple weeks because I was scared at the time, but yeah, I did, and then he helped me a lot from there, and then I got
He's a
to meet a bunch
wonderful
of new
man.
people. Yeah, he is.
I got to talk to him at the festival, and he's a wonderful man, and he's very proud of you.
Yeah, yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Uh, Tell us about entertaining at the 10th annual Made in Maui County Festival.
Oh, it was so good. I actually never been to one of those festivals, but I heard it happened every year, and so I was like, "Oh, I need to come back next year." But it was a good experience, and it was nice being able to perform on like what felt like a big stage and like a big audience because I was like nervous, but I was like, "No, this is a good experience. It's gonna help us with our stage presence." And yeah, it was just a bunch of fun, and I enjoyed playing with the musicians that I played with, Shania Lee and Chase. They're very, very, very good.
They are, and it's nice to see how different combinations of musicians work together, and we have such a great musical community who help each other. And yeah, Shania was coming in for 2 sets that day, which was great to have her play with you as well.
Yeah, it was. She's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, we were so glad to have you there. Now, what are your future goals for your state?
Um, well, specifically, I think I I want to like record soon because I always get asked like after performances sometimes like, oh, do you have a CD? I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta work on that now. And then overall though, I just with this whole journey, I mainly look to get better, at my music and like personally, and to keep learning and to keep growing. One
Yeah.
of my coworkers said that like you should never be in a place where like you're stagnant. Like make sure in life like even when you get older, like you're always growing in a way, and that really stuck to me. And so yeah, that's my overall goal with this.
I think that that is excellent advice. I think
Yeah, I
I
know he's
believe in
amazing.
lifelong learning.
Yeah, it is.
But I do also want to hear you have a CD because, of course, at the Made in My County Festival, that qualifies as a locally made product by our local
Yeah.
musicians. So you will have opportunities to sell those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ah, so tell us a little bit about as we're coming up over the holidays. Is there other places people can hear you? Um, are you looking at music that you could record around the holidays? Where do you see some of the future opportunities?
Um, for now, I think just like Coffee Addict. Just yeah.
I was
Um.
thinking we should get you at Ka'ahumanu Shopping Center.
Oh, compliment. Oh yeah. Oh, those. Now I'm remembering those. They have those Christmas performances.
Yeah. I'll put a bug in
Yeah.
somebody's ear over there. Maybe they should be calling
Oh.
you.
Oh, thank you. That sent me back in time. Like we in elementary we did a choir performance. It was very cute for Christmas.
Yeah, when my daughter was a ukulele student, she would, all the kids would come out and do performances at Queen Kaahumanu Shopping Center, and so
Yeah.
I'll put a bug in their ear that they might want to reach out to you for that. I think that would be awesome for you, and we want everybody to come see you at the Coffee Attic. Unfortunately, I'm always working at those times, but so I'm going to try and get back to having some meetings over there and hope to connect with you there. But it is
Yeah.
so great to connect with you, Namaka. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
out and participating in the festival this year. Uh, you were amazing, and people were blown away.
Aw, thank you. No, thank you so much for these opportunities. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Maui Chamber of Commerce, and all you guys.
Ah, it is our great pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
You too. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Aloha. Well, I just hope that you get to hear Namaka soon. She is an amazing up and coming talent, and again, the audience was in awe. Those around us were in awe, and it was great to have her perform. We had such amazing musicians this year at the 10th annual Maida Maui County Festival, and we really just want to say to all of our community a huge mahalo nui loa for coming out, for shopping small, for showing up, for our amazing local manufacturers who put their creativity, as you've heard this morning, you know, they put their heart, soul into their products, and they are so excited to share it with the community. And they were overwhelmed. Uh, the joy and support that our community brought to these over 140 manufacturers was just overwhelming, and it was a much needed experience.